Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Screen Smash. I'm your host, Dan Morris. Joining me this week, I have the lovely Erika Aundawyn.
Hello.
The lovely Michelle.
Hi.
And of course, the extra lovely Iain McParland.
Hi.
Thank you,
Best day
Iain.
ever.
Best. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Erika's kind of sort of been on the show before. Iain's back with us again. And this is Michelle's first time joining us. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello. Michelle, of course, is another CouchSoup contributor, and you might recognize her from the House of the Dragon podcast from a while back. So not too unfamiliar with the podcasting.
Nope. Decoding Dragons will have a one-off episode coming, though, and we are getting prepared for season 2. So
Nice. Little
It's
plug on
officially
there.
production, so
I know.
Nice. I love it. All right. So today we are going to talk about our excitement or not excitement for the new Jedi Survivor game that's coming out. I know I'm very excited. We're also going to get a special little preview of the upcoming Crash Team Rumble, which Michelle and Erika here had the privilege of checking out. We're going to let them take the floor and tell us all about it. So before we get to that, though, we are going to talk about Star Wars. Star Wars is hot right now.
Yeah,
Between-
because
Well,
there's not
Star
enough
Wars celebration.
Star Wars Celebration, The Mandalorian. We got Ahsoka coming up. I'm super excited for Ahsoka. I love
Same.
Ahsoka.
I'm so excited. I'm loving all this Star Wars hype. Screw the haters. This stuff is great.
One of my few Star Wars shirts.
Right?
How do you feel about Star Wars, Michelle?
Okay, well, I love Star Wars, but I like Star Trek more.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
And going straight into that sort of versus type thing, are we? Okay, cool. That's the kind
We're going to
of
start
that's right.
flashing lightsabers to tasers or stun
I
guns.
have my
What are they using?
lightsaber on my wall right
Phasers.
here.
Phasers.
You can't tell though.
What is it?
It's my
The
lightsaber.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
More
I mean, I don't hate it at all. It's just, gosh, it's just never ending Star Wars stuff all the time.
Well, there's still Star Trek stuff, too.
Yeah,
God.
But not as much.
Season 3 is amazing.
I don't know. I love the getting into the nitty gritty of the Star Wars universe, especially like some of the new shows. Like they're getting
Mhm.
down and dirty with like how grimy the politics of the Star Wars universe really can be.
Damn, Andor.
Oh, Andor. I'm really liking to. So with the Harry Potter like TV show coming out, it got me thinking about Star Wars and how much I appreciated with Star Wars that everything is not a remake and that they're expanding on the universe, which is exactly what HBO should have been doing with Harry Potter. So I'm loving all this new Star Wars stuff that is just like, here's more of this. Here's more of this. We're going to do an origin story here. We're going to expand the story here. Here's something new. And I'm like, yes.
Mm.
Give me
Speaking
more.
of expanding the narrative, we're going to get into talking about the new Jedi Survivor and how super pumped some of us are.
Yes.
All right,
Some of
so
us.
to kick us off, Jedi Survivor is the upcoming sequel to the phenomenal Jedi Fallen Order. Well, at least I think it's phenomenal. And it's going to be coming just in a few weeks. Fallen Order was personally one of my favorite games of 2019. I think it should have been Game of the Year. And it's also been helmed by Stig Asmussen. I was trying to like find out how to pronounce his name. Asmussen, who directed the God of War 3 game, which was also one of my favorite games in that franchise. If you didn't know, fun fact, he made God of War 3 and he was a big part of the original God of War games. I'm excited for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I keep wanting to say Fallen Order. How are you guys feeling about Survivor?
I'll go
Holiday
first
and
on
go.
this one. Yeah, I'll go on it. I have pre-ordered it because, as we've already discussed on this podcast before, I pre-order stuff that I don't want to get spoiled on. I am so excited about it because I loved the first game, Fallen Order. I loved going to Dathomir. Dathomir is one of the best areas in any game. I just loved it so much. So I'm really looking forward to the new one. I am slightly concerned. No, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna play it. Gonna love it probably. but I am quite slightly concerned with the way they've changed some of the mechanics into an open world type area with needing mounts and having fast travel. It just felt the Fallen Order game had a tight experience where you know where you were going. You were sort of led on a path, even though there was bits to explore everywhere. But open world, I think, you know, by now that I have trouble with question marks on the display, and I don't really like side quests for no reason and all that jazz. But having said that, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars, and it's Cal Kestis, and it's BD1, and it's Merrin, and it's everyone like that. So I am pumped.
Yeah, I think to answer to that, like, I don't know if it's fully open world. I feel like it's going to be
decently
expanded world, but I don't think it's going to go fully open on that. At least from what I gather.
Yeah,
I don't know. You can fly around with you've seen in the trailer. You can fly around with some of the mounts, so you'd be able to reach quite a lot of places.
Maybe it's like Destiny style open world.
I was going to say maybe it's more like Hogwarts, because Destiny's super open, but Hogwarts is open world, but it's a limited map.
That'd be interesting, because I thought you could go to different worlds, at least with this next one. But honestly, that open world aspect is what makes me most excited about it, because I am in love with open world games. That is like my jam, especially when it has just like a main story that I can play and side quests here and there. I will play it a long time, and I love that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be different worlds, maybe open-ish worlds on each one. But
I think it's going to be fun. I think for me, one of the most exciting parts of it is not only customization, because I've said this all across the internet, like fashion is endgame. It just is. And so you can customize your lightsaber, the hilt, the color. You can change your beard, your hair, your outfit, like the colors. And even BD, you can change the colors and stuff too. And that, I was just like, all right, I'm sold. And then I had to watch the rest of the 20-minute video that was like, here's other stuff that you can get, which I love the customization of it. But one of the hardest things for me with the first game was in the options menu. So I can get decently motion sick now that I'm getting older. And I couldn't change the camera sensitivity. So things would jerk really fast for me. And I was like, oh, I can't change this. And so I struggled to get through the game only because of that aspect. So I'm looking forward to seeing the different like accessibility options and other changes that we can make to make our gameplay more comfortable. So I'm excited to see what that's going to be like.
I would say with a massive rise of accessibility in games over the years, I think that's a given at this point. Like so many games just have accessibility baked into them from the ground up. And I would find it very shocking if it didn't come with a lot more accessibility options going forward.
And I don't remember if for the Game Awards this is new or if it's happened several times in the past, but there was an award for like the best like accessibility in games. I don't know if that was something new or not, but
they've been doing it for the last couple of years.
So it's decently recent.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years now that they started including that award. But I wanted to hit on the customization because I'll tell you right now, the minute I started customizing my lightsaber in the Fallen Order, the first thing I did was make my lightsaber purple.
Yes.
Mace.
That's what my lightsaber is. It's purple.
Mm-hmm.
I think I used it maybe once or twice. I don't go for customization. I just
okay, but that's a great question. If you had a lightsaber, what color would it be?
If
I could have a black lightsaber, I would.
That's a dark saber.
I want it.
Orange.
Yeah, that checks out. White. I love the white.
But see, everything you guys are saying is it's kind of turning me off a little bit because I'm kind of like Ian. I like linear story based. That's why I love Uncharted. I love Tomb Raider. Like even the last Tomb Raider was a little too open world for me, but I could do it. Even like Spider-Man, the first one, too many random side quests that I was just like a little overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And then all of the customization options, just why? I log into a game to play it, not spend 2 hours like making me look good. I don't know. And I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion.
Called out.
I know. I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but like too much customization and too much open world is just like, I just panic.
I'm totally done with open world games at the moment. I've just gone through Horizon Forbidden West. I've changed my outfit a bit about twice, and that was just for stats upgrades, and that's it.
I'll tell you right now, I agree with you, Michelle. Like, I don't like open world games that much anymore. Like, I'm burned out on open world games, and that's why I'm actually, when I said that I think it'll be open world ish or an expanded world, that's actually more of a deep-seated desire, because I love the linear narrative of the original game. Like, it was kind of open-ish, but it was a pretty linear path through the levels. And then it had that Metroidvania aspect, and that's one of my personal favorite aspects, is the Metroidvania-ness of it. So I don't want it to be too open world, because if it's really open world, you can't do Metroidvania.
How do you think they're going to do that Metroidvania this time? Because last time they had flashbacks to you training as a Jedi. Already you're a beast at the end of the last game. How the hell are they going to do any more training flashbacks? They
did confirm there was not a post from the director of the game, said that Cal will retain all of his skills from the first game. They're not going to pull a Metroid where, oh no, I've lost all my powers and I have to re-get them all over again. But now they're going to introduce new abilities and new powers on top of the ones he already has. Plus, they're going to change up the combat system to include 5 new stances. So now he'll be able to single wield, dual blade. There's like a new one. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a power, like heavy attacking one. And then there's
a Kylo Ren type one.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, like really heavy handed, like forceful strikes. And there's also a blaster mode. So
I looked at what Metroidvania is, and that's something I learned today. So thank you. I had no idea this was a thing. I thought you guys were talking about the Metroid games.
Metroidvania is a genre based on Metroid.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember that game.
It's not a game.
I just learned it's not a game.
You learn something new, like
yeah, right.
The more you know.
The more you know.
It's kind of like in Destiny, not to go backwards, but when they created that customize all button for all of the shaders, that you could just hit one button and customize all of your shit. Can I curse?
I don't fucking care.
Okay. Customize all of your shit at once, and it was just like, yes, because now I don't have to go through every piece of armor, find that same freaking shader, do all of my just give me the one button hits all.
So on that note, I'm going to say this. I am the tool that's getting the deluxe edition of Star Wars, and the deluxe edition comes with the Han Solo outfit and the Obi-Wan outfit and the Luke Skywalker outfit. So you can just like, bam, I got all Obi-Wan's robes.
I missed that. Damn it.
So yeah, like, I'm all good with that kind of like.
I pre-recorded Hogwarts so I could get some special things. I got the deluxe edition as well, so I could get like this fun new like outfit or whatever. I've never put it on.
Well, then you're just missing out.
Hurt me.
You attack my soul.
I changed. So like I've been getting really into Cyberpunk, and like that's one of the first things I do is like almost every time I play, I go and I change my outfit. I make sure I look good, and so my Jedi gonna look amazing. And there's going to be lots of screenshots.
Anyways, I wanted to hit on a couple of things that I'm really excited about with Jedi. First of all, any game that I'm really looking forward to, I have this habit of looking away from it. Like I don't look at the things I want. I purposely ignore them. But for the sake of like these conversations, it's like, okay, I have to start like pulling up the veil a little bit. But for me, I was just like, it's only in the last couple of days I started watching trailers. I started digging into what the new game is going to offer. And here's like some of my top things. BD1 is back. I love BD1. He's my favorite little droid boy. Like, I'm so happy that he's back and he looks just as adorable as ever. I love that Marin is returning. She was another favorite part of mine in the original game. I loved Marin, and I felt like she got way too little screen time because it's like you meet her, you get to know her, and then the game ends. And it's like, oh, like I actually really like that character. I like that they're introducing a new system of tag team battles with AI partners. If you didn't know this,
I didn't.
You're going to be able to go out on your expeditions with either Marin or this new character named Bode Akuna, who is a freelance bounty hunter. He's a gunslinger type like Han Solo, and you'll actually be able to do combat scenarios as well as puzzles with your AI partners. And I'm really excited about that.
That's going to go either really well or really bad.
I mean, if they're really well crafted and clever, like big moments in the vein of like old school, like Uncharted 2 moments kind of thing.
Yeah.
It could be so amazing. And they show a little bit in the trailer. There's a part with clips where Cal and Marin are fighting, or Cal and Bode are fighting together.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, I'm even more excited.
Yes. A lot of good stuff to be excited about. I'm hoping that the hub world thing is good. Like you, Ian, I got a little like, I hope that works. Like, I hope it's good. I want it to be kind of like a fun system to play on and give you a sense of being. But yeah, as long as they bring back like interplanetary travel and you're hitting up different worlds and you got to get all the little collectibles, like, that's my jam. Just don't make it too open world.
Make it open world. I'm sorry. I'm only one of the four, the quarter who has that opinion, so it's okay. Shout out
You're in the minority
if you are on my side.
Oh, my husband would be on your side. He likes more open world, the better.
We have enough open world games. I don't need my Jedi to be open world.
I just like the linear story based. Like, yeah, just that's my jam.
I prefer those tighter experiences, like more focused and driven. And like it's got to be like an ADD thing or something. If it's too open world and you get too distracted, I never finish the game. I just don't.
It's the completionist anxiety, 100% for me.
Yeah.
Because then I'm never going to finish it. Oh my gosh.
I do try to like finish as many side quests as I can before like moving on to another part of a story. But I enjoy the side quest a lot because I feel like it gives the world I'm in an even broader view, depending on the game. Some are very like, oh, can you go pick some flowers? But then others are like super like, hey, I need you to go do this because of, you know, just something very lore heavy. So I'm hoping that's what these side quests do, is make things feel bigger. So that's my
I don't want those side quests to be go fetch me shit.
I hate those.
See, I will say something about that, about Hogwarts. And I know this isn't about Hogwarts, but it's my most recent gameplay. There were a lot of side quests that you don't necessarily have to finish for the campaign, but there were a couple just kind of tucked in there that you needed to finish for the campaign that you wouldn't have known otherwise. Ooh. And I found that kind of interesting because I couldn't progress a couple things. And I'm like, why? What is the problem? And I actually had to look it up. And it was because I hadn't finished this one side quest, because I usually just don't do the side quests. And they were like, no, you have to do this one to progress the story. And, you know, I kind of enjoyed that it was kind of tucked in there because it was kind of like a puzzle of like, what do you actually have to do? And what do you not?
All right. So final closing thoughts on Jedi. I want everyone to go around and just kind of give us your like what's your hype level for this game?
Are we doing like a scale, like 1 out of 10?
Sure.
I'd say an 8 out of 10. And I haven't been as excited for games lately, but something about this new with Jedi, and I'm just like, you know, I'm actually genuinely excited, and I'm very glad.
Nice, Ian.
I'm a 9 out of 10 hype with a 7 out of 10 queasiness about that hype.
My hype is making me nauseous.
Yeah.
Drinking the water.
Here we go.
How about you, Michelle?
I'll probably play it when it's discounted later. It looks good. I'm not gonna play it.
Hey, at least you're honest. There will be other people in the chat just agreeing with you. That's okay.
Yeah, there'll be those other people like, yeah, no, I don't care.
No. There's so much Star Wars.
There is so much Star Wars, but this is like, when it comes to Star Wars games, there's not enough good Star Wars games. And the Jedi franchise so far is I think of the best, next to like...
I didn't play the other one either, so...
The other one. There's a lot of Star Wars games, Michelle, so I'm not really sure what that means.
The other Jedi one. I played one that was free on like PlayStation Plus like last year, but it wasn't Jedi. So
yeah, you're probably talking about Battlefront.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that was my first video game. The OG Battlefront.
Oh, the original, like PS2.
Yeah, I was gonna say last year.
Last year, I played video games for the first time. I'm a professional.
Clutch my pearls.
Oh, I'm definitely I'm up there like close to like a 9 or 10 on this, and it's because I love the first game so much, and I love the team behind it. I love Respawn. The first game was just such a perfect experience for me. It had its flaws. There's people have complained about different parts of the game, and they're not wrong, but it's like I enjoyed the game so much, and it did so many things the way I like them. Especially like I was just talking to somebody about this. The way that they handled the blocking mechanic in Jedi is like perfect and exactly how it should be, because there's too many Star Wars games where you play as a Jedi, but you can't like do the perfect block and shoot blaster bolts back at a stormtrooper and kill him. Yeah. But you can in Jedi. And it's the perfect mechanic of how you get that timing right and just pew, you just shoot the blast right back at them. And it's so satisfying. But yeah, very excited for Jedi. All right. Are you ladies ready
to rumble?
To take the floor and tell us about Crash Team Rumble.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was wonderful. I love traveling with Michelle. We've become good friends over the years, and CouchSoup had this opportunity pop up and we said, yeah, we'd like to go. Activision invited us over to their headquarters in Santa Monica. We're just kind of hanging out with some of the people beforehand, just like chatting while they wait to kind of like open the doors kind of a thing. And I see this car drive past with Lawrence or Sir Lar from like,
oh, you're talking about Twitter, Lawrence YouTube. Sontag?
Yeah, Lawrence Sontag. And I see him drive by and I'm just like, that's Lawrence. And I like fangirl for a second. I was like, I can't believe I just saw Lawrence. This is so cool. And then we're chatting with other people. And then I turn around again and he's standing there talking with people. And I'm like, this is the greatest day of my life. I knew right then that this was going to be a wonderful experience.
Regardless of the game, this is a wonderful experience.
Regardless of the game.
She's the worst person to see a celebrity with. I just want to throw that out there.
I am not. I just...
No chill.
I do have some chill, but when it comes to like that was tons of fun. So we go inside and we are immediately meted by Crash in this sick outfit.
Oh, is it like the full like costume Crash get up?
Oh yeah, like a mascot type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the really cool thing was when we were driving through the parking lot, because we weren't really sure where to go. We're like, I don't know where to go, and then we just kept driving in the parking lot, and then we saw Crash with a Crash car outside, and I was like, I think that's where we gotta go.
I think that's where we need to go. So we parked and went there, and we were correct.
Yes.
It was fun going inside and just seeing all these people chatting and hanging out, talking about the game, and all around the room there were these cool like branded items. So I think it was fuel or something, or G Fuel or something that was branded as Crash. And then there were some cool like drink areas and snack areas and couches to sit and chat with people. And we were there for a hot minute, just like socializing and talking to people and be like, making sure we introduce ourselves. And the best part is they're like, hey, they come to this group of 4 that's just chilling on the couch with me, Michelle, Danny Pena, and then Lawrence. And they're like, hey, we have some PlayStations open up. Let's play.
Yeah, no. So yeah, it was just a smaller room. It kind of looked like they had closed off like one of their big conference rooms maybe. And so it was definitely themed. Yeah, it's definitely themed. They had a lot of like boxes, Crash boxes around the room. They had a spot for pictures with Crash. They had themed drinks and stuff. And then on the other side of the room, there was just tables filled with laptops and monitors and PlayStations ready to go. So they were it was a little awkward at the beginning. Everybody was entering after we had to sign some paperwork, and we were all just kind of standing around like, I don't know what to do. And then I think like the director or whoever was in charge was like, okay, let's start playing. So they gathered a bunch of people and just like placed them along all of the rows. And there were 4 per team. So we were all sitting in a 4 per row. And it was required that we had to do the tutorial first. They kept saying that. They're like, we have to do the tutorial. So when you get 4 people here, try to start at the same time so we can all start gaming at the same time. We're like, okay, cool. So they set us all up with the tutorial. And what it was they had a monitor set up with a PlayStation plugged in, and then headset. The laptop was recording some gameplay. We did the tutorial, which was kind of cool. We weren't talking yet because we weren't sure if we could. We weren't chatting with each other yet. Yeah. And then Erika didn't know how to mute herself, which was great.
Okay. In my defense, so I thought the headphones were connected to just like the whole everything. So what I do when I'm on PlayStation, I just mute my controller, and I've got really bad allergies like all the time. And so I'm just like constantly sneezing. Hence why I sound the way that I do. And so I muted the controller because I knew I was going to sneeze. I'd turn over and I'd just sneeze. And then all of a sudden everyone would go, whoa, like
everybody's like, oh,
scared the shit out of everybody.
You had a
on
hot
the
mic
team.
that everybody could hear essentially.
And it turned out the mic that you had is one that just kind of flips up, and that's how you mute. And so I had it right by my mouth and I just scared the shit out of everybody.
It was great.
I felt so bad.
So you're only communicating with the 4 people on your team. And then we were waiting for the people on the opposite side of us on our table that's who we were going to play against. So they essentially had, I think, 2, 4, 6 rows, I would say. There were 3 tables, maybe 4 tables. So maybe 8 rows of, 4 people on each side. And then we were sitting with, it was Erika, myself, Lawrence, and then Danny is who we ended up playing with.
Nice.
Yeah, so we get in and we start playing. We finished the tutorial, which was super helpful. And then you get to pick your character. They had some skins available, which was really cool. So when you play, there's 4. Everybody pretty much like gets their own like role.
So let's dial back a little bit. Like now
sure.
that you're getting into the game itself, what was your first impressions of the game at this point with the tutorial? Like, what were you thinking about the game right now?
I know who I want my team to be. Like friends that I knew I wanted to invite.
Oh, okay. You're already there.
I was already there.
I was actually a little confused because I was just overwhelmed. There was a lot going on in the room. I didn't know who I was going to be playing with, but I had to focus on this tutorial and understand what the thing was going on. There was just a lot going on. I did really appreciate that during the tutorial, it obviously walks you through everything. But it has a lot of old school, regular movements that you're used to. You have the slam on the ground, you have the spin, you have the slide. You have all of the things that you're used to with a Crash game. And I wasn't quite sure how this game worked. I wasn't even sure what this game was, to be fair.
Yeah, I wanted to say that when I was looking into the game, the marketing on this so far seems kind of mild. Like there is a lot of marketing, but they don't really explain the game a lot. So it's like, is this a MOBA? Is it trying to be League of Legends? Like, what exactly is this game experience?
That is actually something, because we interviewed Sydney Dilsingor from Toys for Bob, and this is actually, I'm just going to directly quote our article that's out, because that's something that people have been saying. And so she said, we're trying to figure out what genre it is. So we're saying 4v4 competitive strategic platformer, right? Which you haven't seen that before. You've seen other Crash games in the past that have done different things, but you haven't seen the platform experience in a multiplayer. So in my opinion, so like when you're trying to think about what on earth is this game, the first thing that I went to was think of it as Super Smash Brothers meets Destiny's Gambit.
Because the way you have to like collect fruit and deposit it.
And you're fighting other people. Everybody has their own specific roles.
What's
so
the
you're
Smash
also just
element? So you can like knock out other players?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you elaborate on that, how that felt?
Yeah. So there are several different strategic things that you can do, but one that affected me the most, I was one that was depositing the Wumpa fruits. And so when one of the other members from the team would come and attack me, I was full on fruits and I'm like, I need to deposit, but I couldn't because I was being attacked. And when you get knocked out, you lose all of your fruits and you have to start over again. And that's same with everybody, whatever you had or what you're doing, essentially it's just like resets, and you have to get like 5 seconds, then you come back into the game.
Yeah, you respawn automatically.
And you respawn. And so there's tons of different strategies along with that, but yeah, you can get knocked out and you can sit there going, very frequently.
I had a lot of fun with the battling other players because her role was a scorer.
So each of the characters have different roles that you can play.
Yeah. So when you're choosing at the very beginning of the character screen, when you're choosing your character, you go through the categories, and that's when you like really chat with your team. It's like, who wants to do what based on the tutorial. You only play Crash in the tutorial, so you don't really understand the point of all of them yet. So you can change it in between games.
Release. I'm not sure.
It might. And so we decided that we were going to have 2 scorers, because it was you and Danny, right? Were the 2 scorers, I think. And then Lawrence was going to be our Dingodile, who is the damager, basically, and the defense. And then I was going to be the booster. So there are things in the map specifically that I can do to help boost the value of our Wumpa fruits that we deposit. And so Larry was kind of going around and trying to be defense and
too.
Trying to be defense and clearing out spaces so our scorers could score, and I'm trying to boost so our score means more.
It kind of reminds me of how you would build a team in like Overwatch to
kind of
balance out
that's
things.
a good way to put that. Yeah.
Excuse me. And there are different, when you're choosing your character, like she was mentioning, there's customization, there's certain skins, there's different things. So like I was Coco and I could pick a different laptop and a different backpack, and it depends on the character that you are. And there are also different attributes that you can bring, essentially. So there's different perks you could have. You could either have like a healing fridge, or you could have a blocker for the other team's goal. So you have to, there's a time bar that you have to wait for it to be all the way up before you can utilize these. But I would always choose the blocker because he was huge and I could just put him on the other team's goal. And then they couldn't get onto it and just deposit any Wumpa fruit.
However,
but
I found a way around that. Yeah. So
did you?
If it is still this way, I'll have to test it in the beta that comes out April 20th through 24th. Yeah. So nice. When there's one on your platform and he like shoots this electricity and it kind of damages you. I was Tanya, which is kind of squishy. But if I stood behind the blocker,
I was wondering about that.
I wasn't like killed, and I got just like a half damage, not too bad, but I was able to stand there and score. So if you guys are going to be out there playing, try that out. I think it may still work.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun ways to find different strategies in this game.
Yeah, the strategic thing is going to be really cool. That was what I was getting to with beating other players. I had a lot of fun with that because as the booster, there's relics placed around the map that you have to gain in order to have extra perks throughout the game, not something that you choose in the character screen. There's like, depending on the map, there's a beach ball that you can get that envelops you, and then you can just roll around other players and like knock them off of their path. They don't kill them. They don't deal a lot of damage, but you can just knock them all around. There's also different other things that you can get, like, in another map, the same thing as a beach ball, except it's like a spiky ball, so you can actually deal damage with it.
It's like specific to the map itself.
Yeah, but the way you actually get boosted is there are gym pads. That's the platforming aspect. So they're all around the different maps, and you have to gain these platforms. It's almost like capture in Destiny. So you have to sit there long enough to capture the zone. You have to sit on top of each of these gym pads and win them for your team. But if another person from another team comes in, they turn red and you aren't winning them for your team to get boosted. So I was battling other players like crazy on these gym pads. We were knocking each other all over the place. And there were always times where I was like, no, where they would like beat me and then get the gym pads, or I would kill them and be like, yeah, it was really fun.
That was one of my favorite parts of being there was, there's tons of people were filling up the rows. Everybody's playing. Randomly, you would just see people standing up to it. Yeah, because they had just like clutch won the game, where the other people were just like, no. Just the environment of it and just like the vibe of the game in itself just made me so excited. We played for almost an hour and a half. And we had no idea. They came up to us and they're like, hey, we've got some more people coming in. We're just going to filter through. And we're like, how?
Your time is up. You got to go now.
Yeah. We're like, how long have we been playing? And he was like, about an hour and a half. And we're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. And he's like, no, this is exactly what we wanted.
They were basically playing the get off the stage music. And we were like, what? Us? Why? No.
It was a ton of fun. My first concern, though, is longevity with games like this. I think it would have been a perfect game to come out during COVID and the lockdown.
Well, I wanted to hit on something real quick, if I can. You mentioned the excitement and the energy of being in the room with people when they're like, it's like, I feel like that's something that's missed now, because like I have lots of memories of gaming with back in the day, especially going to like LAN parties and playing Halo and couch co-op, like doing LAN parties where you're playing a 4v4 in the same room against people and you can physically feel and hear each other in the room, and you get that like wow. is that going to translate when you play this game online? Which is what I'm sure you're getting to.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want to test out during the beta too, because I have a couple of, like, I want to play with Michelle. I want to play with my brother and a couple other people that are excited to play.
There's plenty of us couch supers here who will probably get in on it.
Well, that would be a really fun video to do.
It would be it would be fun if we could do like a tournament, couch soup tournament for it.
Oh, great idea.
I'll talk to Drew and see if we can't do like a screen smash special or something after, like an after show.
Yes.
And that was a question that we actually asked Sydney, who is the senior studio manager for Toys for Bob, who is the developer of the game. She was amazing. But she couldn't answer, but it was one of the questions that we did ask about if it was going to be able to like be a split screen essentially, so you could still do the couch co-op, and she very strategically avoided the question.
Yeah. And same with when we asked, because obviously the longevity was kind of like my thing, so I'm like, are there going to be more players coming or like more maps? And we can tell from the promos that are out, there's a couple characters there that we didn't play with, so we know there's some things coming. But she was also very strategic, because kind of like, there are more things coming, I just can't tell you what it is.
Yeah, it's just like wait and see.
It gave me a little bit more confidence as to like, okay, so they have this kind of stuff in mind, which is very nice. And it'll be fun to play and almost like vibe check it with playing with other people. But so far my expectations are pretty high now, because it was just so much fun to play. So much fun.
I want to check in with Iain on this now. Like, where's Iain feeling? What's Ian's take on this? What was your take of the game beforehand, and what are you thinking now after hearing the lady's testimony?
I'm probably not even going to play this game. I'm not going to lie. Squad shooters, game, party games, online live service games is not my jam at all. For me, there's only one CTR, and that is Crash Team Racing, and that will be the only CTR ever for me. CT Rum, you can call this, but you can't call it CTR. Because
what about Crash Bash? What about good old days of Crash Bash?
Was great as a couch co-op thing. Again, it's like a Mario Party for Crash, wasn't it? It was an attempt anyway. But it was okay. It was all right. But a live service game, it feels like it could be something like the group modes in Fall Guys almost, and they are the worst.
Oh, interesting. I haven't played that mode.
They are the worst. You are, especially if you don't have your own group that you're going in with, and you're going to go with randoms. How fun is that going to be, really?
That is true. I do agree with you. I think so far my initial experience is it's going to be best played with a team of people. It is going to be online, but you are right. Sometimes when you just go in with randos, it can be very difficult and decently toxic with selfish players and people just being idiots.
But if they've got the mics on at all, or if they do have the mics on and they're just racist bigots, which can happen,
And that's why I
usually one or the other.
Don't play online games. This is one that I'm exclusively just going to play with friends. Because being a woman in gaming, they hear your voice and it just turns into an absolute disaster. But so far, I do highly recommend pretty much playing it with friends and other people that you would play with. Unless you're comfortable with those type of online scenarios, totally fine. But I think it'll be best with friends.
I agree. I'm a little concerned about the longevity aspect, because I can totally see us being super hyped about it for about a week, playing as many maps as you can. We were there for an hour and a half playing it, and we had no idea it was that long. But even within that hour and a half, we were getting pretty strategic, and we were adapting to the other team, and we were understanding the maps already at such a higher level. Yeah, that I'm not sure how they're going to incorporate more to make that any more of a interactive game or interactive map, or what all updates they have in mind will be really exciting to see, I think. Because there are some characters that we've seen that we didn't have the option of choosing and playing. So it might actually be a little bit of a different game, in the aspect of having different characters, maybe a couple different maps, than anything that we were actually able to play while we were there at the event. So that'll be kind of neat to see the differences. But I agree. I would also recommend playing with people because then you're always going to have those tryhards that like played for 24 straight hours, and then you try to get on a game with randos and it's like, you suck.
I wonder too if the beta, it's going to be the same thing that we played pretty much, and we will only have an exclusive or certain set of 5 characters to choose from.
That's usually how
the
that
other stuff will come
goes.
later. It's kind of like a hype.
I'm sure there's going to be more stuff available at launch, and they probably have a lot of planned DLC of like, here's new characters and here's new skins and here's new powers and new abilities and new maps.
Yeah.
Here's a season pass.
Yay.
Well, that was something I actually did mean to ask about, if there was going to be a season pass, and did we? I don't remember if we did.
But something that somebody mentioned, and I don't remember who it was, or if it's maybe I saw something on like Twitter or something, but something really neat, and the way Sydney avoided the question so well was we're wondering if there's going to be skins of like other Naughty Dog games or other Activision games.
Well, Naughty Dog doesn't own Crash anymore, so they wouldn't be able to use Naughty Dog characters in a Crash game.
Yeah, so if it would be like Activision skins or characters or anything like that.
Activision or Toys for Bob, because they also do Spyro. So it's very possible they could bring Spyro in on it.
Games in the whole wide world.
Yeah, so that would be kind of neat if they kind of introduce. It's kind of like that that horror game, and now the name is escaping me, but they do different skins than
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
So they already, I'm looking at it now. There's the deluxe edition of the game that you can pre-order that comes with a premium battle pass.
There we go.
So you're going to have a battle pass, and the deluxe edition gives you seasons 1 and 2. There's a 25 tier unlock for season 1 included, and the digital proto pack, which includes skins, cosmetics, a few other things. But it's right off the bat they're going to have some sort of battle pass. So they're definitely
special.
Yeah. I'll be totally honest. I actually really like the battle pass type of.
It
I'm
can
not
work
really
all right.
sure.
Like,
I don't even know what that entails, to be honest.
It's pretty much you play this
well, Destiny
much,
has battle pass now too.
the season pass. So it's pretty much like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wanted to say, like, before we wrap up here, my hot take on this game is when they announced this at the Game Awards, I was like, who cares? Why do we need this?
That was a lot of people's reactions.
When they did the whole spectacle of Crash, like, zip lining in on stage, and they're like, are you ready for some Crash? I'm like, hell yeah, give me Crash 5. And they're like, here's this other Crash multiplayer game that looks really odd. Yeah. And it was like really anticlimactic for me. And I'm like, That
was a weird presentation, to be honest.
Yeah, that definitely didn't do anything for me. So now it's like, I'm glad to hear that you guys had fun. That's a big thing. Like that, it sounds like it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to trying the beta and seeing if we have that same intensity of the yelling and screaming, like, "Oh my god, you just blocked me!" or "Suck it, asshole!" Like,
right?
Yeah, like if it has that energy and it can maintain that per match, sounds like it could be a good time.
Which it did for an hour and a half. The open beta is April 20th to 24th, and the game actually releases on June 20th. So if you want to pre-order before then, do it. But I highly recommend checking it out. It was a lot of fun. Even if you liked games like Among Us during COVID, play it.
Ian's like, nah, I'm good.
I highly recommend it. It was fun.
What would get you to play it, Ian?
Among Us?
No.
I thought you said,
get out of here.
I thought you said something else, and I was like, I don't know.
It's a bunch of friends who were always free at the same time as me, and that's probably.
If we did a CouchSoup tournament, would you play?
What time?
do it during the beta.
Oh yeah, we could try to play during the beta.
I believe it's only available on PlayStation right now as well.
I think so.
No, that's not true at all.
Let me check.
It's on both PlayStation and Xbox.
Oh, that's right, Xbox. I forgot about Xbox.
Erika, Microsoft is buying Activision. You know that, right?
You're right.
Right?
Yeah, right. So much is going on. I can't keep up.
Honestly, I was with Erika. The way that they were like advertising, I swear I thought it was only on PlayStation.
That happens because that happens a lot though, where like PlayStation will dominate the marketing on things. Yeah. But I think that's because Sony pays for a lot of that.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways.
We should absolutely get people together to play during the beta, because I think it would be a wonderful time.
Yeah, and if you got confused with the way we were describing it, then check out our article on couchsoup.com about it, because we also have Sydney's interview embedded in there too.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about the ladies' experience, but they went to LA to check out the game, you can find the article on couchsoup.com, and it's titled
Let's Get Ready to Rumble on Crash Team Rumble.
That's a lot of rumble. But yeah, I was wanted to like come back around again and reiterate on like how cool it was that you guys were able to go to LA, visit the studio, have that experience, as well as meet some cool, like semi-famous, like pretty kind of famous people at that point. Like I've known Lawrence for a long time. I've known Danny for a long time. Man. I say no, I mean like I know of them. I don't know them. I'm not like chummy.
I've been following Lawrence for a long time, and so like I truly fangirled and I did my best, and then I scared the shit out of him. So
and ultimately. For me, this is the door opening for us with CouchSoup, and I hope and pray that we get to do more of these things. And like,
they really enjoyed having us there, and that was one of the things. They're like, just keep an eye out for other things for CouchSoup, because they loved having us there. So I have a feeling there will be a lot more of these types of things to come.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That we were one of the only like press people there. A lot of it was influencers. And we were able to do the interview with Sydney, and then they also have our contact information and did like CouchSoup's contact information and said to kind of keep an eye out for more invitations. And so it was really a big deal for CouchSoup in general to be even invited. And then the fact that we took advantage of it and went, we had to pay for the flights and pay to be out there. And, it was a trip, it was work, but it was a work and pleasure trip at the same time. And we got to even meet Drew and PJ and Stephanie. They do in fact have legs.
They do.
So it was absolutely worth it, and hopefully open some doors for CouchSoup.
Nice.
Yeah, so look for more things to come.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I like it. Any final thoughts from you, Ian, before I wrap us up?
No, not going to play it, probably.
I like how it went from Michelle not wanting to play the Star Wars game, and now it's somebody else who's like, I'm not going to play this game.
Right.
Thank you very much to Activision and Toys for Bob, but nope, sorry, not stuff for me.
It's not your thing. I'm tentatively optimistic. That's
cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
cautious.
There you go.
Like I hope it's fun. I hope it's a good time. We'll see.
Yeah.
So
find out.
Thank you guys for sharing. And a special thank you for both showing up and coming here on Screen Smash with us tonight and sharing your tales as well as your takes on the games and everything. It's been lovely having all the lovelies.
Thank you.
Thank you for
lovely.
I want the Ian Uwoos.
Thanks for having us to talk about it.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Erika. Have a good night. We'll see you all next week on Screen Smash. Bye.